We're now going to look at scale and particularly determining the accuracy of a scale. The purpose of this lesson is to be made aware that the reproduction or photocopying of a map can affect its accuracy. The outcomes: you must be able to give an equivalent number scale for a bar scale, and then you've got to apply that knowledge to make sure that you can determine whether a diagram or a map has been drawn to scale. The first thing we're going to look at is determining the number scale from a bar scale. When setting a paper, in our memos, we always include a statement at a scale question, check after photocopying, because we can work with our printouts, but it changes. And remember, in grade 10, at the beginning of the book, we were introduced to exercises showing that 1 millimeter in map work has a huge implication for calculations of distance. Right, so let's have a look how we're going to do this one. What we're looking at now is revision of grade 11 work. So to write the scale in the format 1 to something is a question that comes up over and over in exams and in tests. So remember, paper to reality, so we're always going to write paper to reality. And for the sake of understanding scale, for the way in which we want to use it, we're going to know that we're going to use that as centimeters and that as centimeters, and sometimes you have to do conversions to get to kilometers or millimeters. Right, let's look at the diagram that they gave us. So here's an enlarged section of a ruler, and from this you can see that the bar scale measures 4 centimeters. So 4 centimeters represents 1 kilometer. And again, we're going to do paper to reality. And our paper was 4 centimeters. Reality was 1 kilometer. So this question of ratio is writing a ratio in unit form. Now remember, unit form means 1. A unit is 1 or per. So, and we're always going to get the paper to 1 centimeter. But the first thing we have to do is we have to make sure that all units are centimeters. So 1 kilometer, we need to change it to centimeters. And now we go and find good old King Henry. King Henry died miserable death called measles. We are changing from kilometers to centimeters. Right, let's check how many bunny hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to multiply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bunny hops, and I put a 1 in front of that. And now I have 4 centimeters to 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimeters. So once my units are the same, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that this becomes 1, and then it is in the form 1 to something. Right, to get 4 centimeters to equal 1 centimeter, I'm going to divide by 4 centimeters. So both of those cancel, and I'm left with 1. What I do to the one side of the ratio, I do to the other. So I'm going to divide by 4 centimeters. So centimeters cancel. And if I do this, 4 goes into 125. And I've got 1, 2, 3 zeros left. These are centimeters. So the answer to that is 25,000. So 1 centimeter on paper represents 25,000 centimeters in reality. This can also be read as 1 centimeter on the map is 25,000 times smaller than the actual distance. We're now going to have a look at applying our knowledge of converting the bar scale to a number scale. And we're going to use this to check the accuracy of a number scale. Right, now having revised that, we're now going to apply it to a new situation. And this application is to check scale accuracy. Okay, so in a test or an exam, they could say to you, from A to B is 6 kilometers. Is the scale accurate? So those are the type of questions, that's how it gets asked. So what you have to do, you can see on our map here, you've got scale 1 to 20,000 and you've got the bar scale. Okay, it doesn't look like our bar scale here, this bar scale, but it is just a different version of a bar scale. So what we have to do, we have to work with one of these to get it to be able to compare the two. We need to compare apples with apples. So we've just revised how to take a bar scale and convert it to a number scale. So that's what we're going to do in this instance as well. So if I took my ruler and I measured this on the scale, I did measure it in the book, you will see that on the ruler that is 2 centimeters long. And remember, if you are stuck with scale, always start with paper to reality. And you can wiggle your way to the final answer or the type of thing that they want. So my paper, I've taken my ruler is my paper, is 2 centimeters. Reality is 600 meters in this case, 600 meters. And just think, you cannot measure 600 meters with your ruler. Well, you could, but it's going to take you a heck of a long time. Right, so the first thing we have to do is the units into centimeters. So meters to centimeters. King Henry died miserable death called measles. I am going from meters to centimeters. So I am going to do 2 bunny hops. I'm going that way, so it's multiply 2 bunny hops. I put a 1 in front. So now I'm going to say 2 centimeters. I'm going to multiply that by 100, and I will get 600 times my 100. So I will get 60,000. Right, the next thing is to write it in unit form, i.e. 1 centimeter to something. So I divide by 2, I divide by 2. So, and these are centimeters. So you see the centimeters are cancelling out. So I have 1 to 30,000. Now I know that it is 1 centimeter on paper represents 30,000 centimeters in reality. But you can see I've cancelled out my centimeters because in a ratio, we never ever write units. So that would be my number scale, my bar scale written as a number scale. Now I've converted that. I now have to compare it to what was given, and you can see that is 1 to 20,000. So therefore, scale, or the number scale, is inaccurate. How do I know it's the number scale that's inaccurate? Well, the bar scale is always the accurate one, because as we, and I'll show you here, as we reduce our map, you can see that this has reduced in proportion, but the number just remains the same. So that is why your bar scale is the accurate scale. I would like you now to go and do the exercise based on this, which is exercise 5 on page 147. Page 147, exercise 5. You will always get a scale question like this in matric.